Over the past few years, Asha Alahan has gone from one of the supporting roles on Coronation Street to being one of the rising young stars of the show, with actress Tanisha Gorey proving what an asset she is to Corrie in stories covering hard-hitting issues like skin lightening, sexting, and now, of course, Seb's murder. Today, she's joining me to chat about her time on the show over the past decade. Tanisha, thank you for coming onto the podcast today.
Hi.
Hiya, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I am okay. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you and be able to chat properly after your award at Christmas.
Oh, I know, it was a real shock.
No, you earned it. You're doing awesomely at Coronation Street at the moment. Well done on all your recent success. It kind of really feels like the Alahans are going through a bit of a renaissance at the moment with Asha at the heart of it.
I know, yeah, I mean, she's trying to feel all important, but we can't forget that she's a twin, you know?
I know, absolutely. I mean, she's risen to prominence quite a lot over the last few years, but I think a lot of Coronation Street fans might be surprised to hear that this is what, your 12th year on the show, is it now?
Yes, yeah, 12th year, literally over half of my life.
And can you remember much of life before Corrie? How old were you when you started?
I was 6 when
Six.
I started. Literally, I was in year 3, you know? I was so young. I was just a little 6-year-old Tanisha. I
Yeah.
don't remember much other than just running about in reception because that's all you do in those days. But other than that, just the day that I got the part, really.
How did you get the part? How did it come about?
So originally I was a child model. So, you know, for like baby clothes, baby
Yeah.
toys, you know, things like that. And the agency that I was with, they had obviously a casting for Coronation Street, and they said to me, "Oh, I fit the role. Do I want to go for it?"
Hmm.
Obviously, I was 6. I just had to read a few lines off a piece of paper, and here we are, 12 years later.
Wow. Did you know much about, what even Coronation Street was by then, or how big it was?
Definitely not. I mean, I had no idea what was going on. I was just showing up with people with big cameras taking pictures of me, and next
Yeah.
thing you know, I'm in a room with Jimmy, and we're talking about Dora the Explorer. And then I've got into this massive workplace with people that I've got no idea, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was definitely an experience when I first started, but I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Mm, mm. I mean, it must have been also nice to have had Zenon along with you, who played Ardy, of course. He was going through the same experience as you, I imagine.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Zenon's got a little brother as well. He's a good 2 years younger than him.
Hmm.
But no, yeah, it was great. I mean, because obviously, because we are twins, wherever he is, I am, wherever I am, he is. So it was
Yeah.
now going into it and this whole new world, but you've got someone else to do it with. You
Mm.
know, it made it that little bit easier because we had no idea what we were walking into.
Did it feel like a job, or was it just something fun? Or did it feel like something fun you turned up to every now and then and said a few lines?
Honestly, I didn't call it work until about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I genuinely did not see it as a job whatsoever. It was just something that I felt so privileged to be doing. You know, I'm going filming, never I'm going to work sort of thing. And it
Yeah.
only like clicked in when I was about 16, 17, because obviously everyone around me was getting jobs now. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, I've already got a job. You know, I've had a job since I was 6. That sort of thing.
Did you kind of feel the need to start watching Coronation Street? Like keeping up with what was going on with Ash's family and neighbours when you weren't in it?
Honestly, definitely not. And I think it's because obviously there's so much going on with it. I mean, it's on 3 days a week, you know,
Hmm.
there's always so much going on. And I was just thinking there's just so much to keep up with. And, you know, they do refer quite a lot to, say, 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago,
Yeah.
something that happened so long ago. And I just didn't think I'd be able to keep up. So I just decided not to. I thought I'll split work from my
Hmm.
own life, and that's that. But then about up until I was about 15 maybe, and that's when I started watching it and really getting into it, because
Hmm.
when I was 16 I then moved up to the adult green room, proper little step up. So obviously I felt like I needed to be able to talk to people and stuff,
Yeah.
and, you know, congratulate people as well on what they're doing. I don't want to say well done for playing such a part without actually watching it.
Hmm.
Like, so there's that sort of side to it as well.
Yeah. I suppose when you were little as well, I mean, Coronation Street isn't there's lots of sex and murder and drugs and things, which maybe 6-year-old Tanisha probably shouldn't have been really exposed to.
Definitely not. I mean, cheating, you've got guns on the street. You've got everything, haven't you?
Yeah. So tell me about your relationship with some of the older cast members then. You know, did the likes of Jimmy and Shobna and Patty start to feel like real parent figures to you?
Well, yeah, because I think everyone seems to forget how much Mary was there for the twins. You know, she became the mother figure when they lost the mum. And Jimmy, 100%. I say this in, you know, even when I have interviews, I say it all the time. Jimmy's always been there for us. You know, he's a father figure to me. And if I need anything, straight to Jimmy. You know, I've got a phone call off him the other day just to say how proud he was, you know, of me, of the upcoming storyline and stuff,
Yeah.
which obviously is really, really lovely. Yeah, always there to help. And Patty, oh, what a sweetheart. She's so cute. She's so sweet. And everyone thinks she's like the character, which is surreal because everybody thinks that about every character.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, no, she's a different person. She does have a life of her own, believe it or not, you know. But no, yeah, I'm showing her as well. I didn't really get much time with her, you know, obviously, because of the fire. But when I did work with her, you know, it was brilliant. It was great. Yeah, 100%. They're all great.
Yeah. Was it weird at all? Do you remember when it was announced that Shobna was going to be leaving? Did it feel odd to feel like, you know, that the mother figure is leaving?
You know what? I don't even think we got told. I think it was genuinely just oh, we've got these scenes and there's going to be a fire and there's going to be all this carnage and your mum's dying basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was so young. When was it?
13, 14 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, I was still quite young. You know, I'd only been in it a couple of years, and back then we're not in it all the time either. It's just a quick bye, mum, running upstairs, something, or just running away from someone. So yeah, so when it actually came to filming it, that's when it was a bit, oh, she's not coming back.
Yeah. Well, you still had Jimmy, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean,
You mentioned about, you know, lots of people always think that the actors are like the characters and they find it hard to separate them sometimes. But I mean, is Jimmy anything like that in real life? Because he is pretty larger than life playing Deb on the show, isn't he? Is there like a little bit of Jimmy in there?
He is very much like his character. And I think, you know, he can be, you know, he's very fun. You know he's there. You know he is there when his presence from around the corner absolutely rolls in before he even steps in. But you know, I mean, we've recently started seeing quite a serious side of Deb, you know, obviously when Asha's up to absolute mischief. So, but other than that, he's very much like his character. He's very fun. He's very, you know, bouncy. He's all over the place, just talking to everyone. But what more could you want, really? I mean, like you say, there's so much like murder and affairs and all this in Corrie. You want to go into work and feel something else because you're working all day in it.
Yeah, true. You mentioned earlier that you know, you and Asha and Ardy weren't in loads of Coronation Street in the early days. I mean, you average between like 10 and 30 episodes a year, I think, which this isn't a lot on the grand scheme of things. I mean, was it easy for you to still have, you know, a normal life off of set?
Yeah, 100%. And I think so obviously we were still in school, so obviously like Corrie had to be careful of that as well. They couldn't just be bringing me out all the time. But you know, it was nice to feel like I'm a part of something like that. Like days when I'm out of school, oh yeah, I'm going filming. See you later, guys. You know, or coming back like having my pass with me. Oh, sorry, I forgot to take that off. You know, as you do as a kid. You know.
What did your friends think of you being on it?
You know what, it was great. I mean, like I said, I was so young. There was only 30 of us in the class. No one really knew what it was. And it was just, oh, she's not here today, you know, sort of thing. And it was, you know, like my friend, my best friend at the time, her family had like a little mini party sort of thing. Like, so my first episode, they invited me around and they had like cake and stuff. And it was like a little banner and it was really nice.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, but other than that, I didn't really speak about it to anyone. It wasn't really a conversation because no one knew what it was.
Yeah. When you were taken out of school, did you have to do any like schooling at Corrie? Because I heard that they, you know, sometimes had tutors and stuff on set.
So you only have a tutor if you're missing more than 3 hours of the school day.
Okay.
Yeah. So say I only had one scene, one in the morning or one in the afternoon, I'd go in for the other, you know. But if say I had like 3 scenes, that would usually be a full day, and I'd get 3 hours tutoring on in the tutoring room. But other than that, you know, if you're not having full days, then it's just pick up and pick out of school. Really, it's not really that much of an issue.
Did you make friends with many of the other younger cast on the set while you were in?
To be fair, no, not until recently, very recently. I would say maybe like 3 years ago, and that was purely because we were, other than me and Zenon, we weren't any way correlated with any of the families. So, for example, Ellie, who plays Amy, we're the same age. You know, we're in the same school year, we're the same age. I mean, we talk all the time now, but up until a couple of years ago, to, you know, like the skin lightening storyline, because Amy and Asha were best friends. Other than that, we hadn't really spoken because we were never in at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was nice to now, it's so nice to think that I do have friends at work rather than just going to work and coming home and not having, you know, them two separate little groups and stuff.
Yeah, and we'll get on and talk about some of the more recent stories in a minute. But before we move on from that, I just wondered whether there are any particular moments or, you know, scenes or stories from your earlier days on Coronation Street that particularly stand out in your memory.
You know, I would say, like I said, we weren't really involved in much.
No.
The thing that we were involved in most is obviously Sunita's death. But I would, the thing that will always stick by me is my very first day. So when we started filming, we weren't even on the street. We was on location because at the time Sunita had a boyfriend. Was he called Mark? So it's just some random guy anyway. And so we was at someone's house, like we'll film at someone's house being their house.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. So obviously on location you have like security and stuff, but we blocked off the whole street. And Jimmy just took me in and just went to the park. And everyone was like, where are the kids? You know, because at this time our parents were taking us because we'd only just started.
Yeah.
Like trying to get us used to it, trying to get everyone into the situation. Everyone was like, where are the kids?
And you were 6.
And we were 6. We were 6. And I think I'm in a school year above Zenon.
Yeah.
He was 5. And we're thinking, where have he got? And it's just Jimmy just stole and took us to the park up the street because he can. You know, I'll never ever forget that, and that will be a story that I will continuously tell to everyone.
Yeah. Speaking of Zenon, I mean, obviously a couple of years ago he decided to move on from Corrie to focus on his studies, and you hear about that quite a lot with some young soap stars. Is there something that like he and you had spoken about much before he just decided to leave, and is it anything that you ever considered?
Honestly, no, but Zenon has always been the smart one. You know, he's always been the rising star. He's always been very, very intelligent, and we all knew he was going to go on to something. We all knew that he was going to do something, you know, whether it be open his own business, you know, make a complete new industry for himself. It would definitely be something, because his mum has her own business as well, so I feel like it's passed down a little bit, which is great. Obviously it's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, because we were so young when we started, we didn't know what we wanted to do. You know, I wanted to be a ballerina. You know, I didn't want to be an actress. But obviously, as we've grown up, it gets to the point where they're thinking, right, we've got these kids here. Can they actually act? What can they do? You know, so it was a bit of a something, and which I think is what led on to the skin lightening storyline. You know. But no, Zen and we didn't really talk about it much, but I knew that he would want to do something else and would eventually move on and, you know, and create something for himself, which is brilliant, you know. Wish him the best of luck, and he's doing great, you know. Like I say, I think he's just finished his A-levels.
All right.
Yeah, just finished them, so I know he'll do a big thing, so it's great.
And now we've got Adam, haven't we? Who I think is fantastic. I think he's doing such a good job.
We love Adam. You know what, as well, I knew Adam previously before we got the part. And I'll never forget, I walked into the room where, you know, I got an email saying, we think we found the perfect Hardy. You and Jimmy come in, we need to see the chemistry with the 3 of you, obviously. There's only the 3 of us, that would make sense. So and as I walked into the room, I just got a surprise. I looked at him and I was like, oh my God, it's Adam. What are you? Oh my God, you no. And
that's lovely.
I went to college with him, so he's either 1 or 2 years above me. So when I went to college, yeah, definitely must be 1 year, but yeah, 1 year older than me. So in college, I would see him, and there was a lot of people in my year that were older than me as well. Like they must have been level 2 of something, gone to level 3. So he hung around with like a few people in my year, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, why are you here? And he was like, yeah, they asked me, and I was like, why didn't you tell me? And he was like, well, I didn't want to. I wanted to be a surprise. But no, it was a great. Honestly, Adam is brilliant. He's fantastic, and he's done other things as well, which I'm sure you might know about. But no, he's brilliant. He's such a lovely guy.
Was it a bit weird having like a new brother in scenes?
To be fair, in the most recent years, Adi and Asha weren't really a twin. Like they weren't really in scenes together anymore.
Yeah. You would mostly had scenes with Amy and Summer, I suppose, didn't you?
Yeah, and like with the skin lightening, it was a lot of Asha and Dev, father daughter scenes. But I don't even think I worked with Zenon in the skin lightening storylines. But then obviously when Adam came in, we've had quite a lot together. I mean, obviously with the recent storyline as well, and the sexting storyline. But yeah, no, it's been really nice. It's like the fact that I knew him already. It made it a lot better for me to try and help him and him help me as well because he's so brill.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
Well, let's chat about this skin lightening story then. How did you feel when you heard this was coming up and you be getting your first real moment in the spotlight?
So at the time, I think I was either 15 or 16. So obviously they was like, let's come for a meeting. We want to go over something. Bring your parents and stuff. And it was great about it. It was a question of, are you comfortable with this? Obviously, the reason I was one of the candidates is because I'm a girl of colour, obviously. So like, don't take any offence and stuff like that, which obviously is great. It's great that they think so deeply and care so much about it. Yeah, when I got it, I just felt so privileged. I felt so honoured that the fact that they chose me to do this storyline. And I think because it's something that's not really spoken about, that just amplified that. Because even people at work, like when they was asking me about it, it was I was like, you didn't even know about it. You can walk up the street, go into Manchester Arndale, and there's 10 shops that'll sell skin lightening bleach. It's so common, it's unreal. So I think that really added, obviously, to it, like knowing that hopefully so many people will be educated on the situation because it's just so common, it's unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I hold my hands up. I didn't know about it either, but I mean, that's one of the great things about soaps, isn't it? They shine a light on some of these issues.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think it just made it that much better at the fact that it was doing so much at the same time, not only for me and my career, but it was genuinely educating so many people.
Yeah. Did you work with any charities or anybody to get it going?
Yeah, we worked with the British Skin Foundation, and a lovely lady came in, and she spoke to us. I think she was part of like a part organizer. She wasn't someone who had gone through it herself. Obviously, I don't want to share her name just in case she's not comfortable with that. But yeah, no, she came in and she just let me ask her loads of questions. Obviously, I didn't really, I knew of it, but I didn't know too much about it. So she just let me throw all these questions that I had at her, which Google unfortunately didn't answer for me. But it was great to have that time to be able to really, sink my teeth into it and really, really get to know everything about it. Because like I said, even with stuff like tone of voice, you've got to be so careful with how you say stuff, the way it comes across. You just want it to be perfect.
Yeah. Did you feel a big sense of responsibility for representing the young female Asian community on the show?
100%. 100%. And that just led me even more. It drove me even more to make sure everything was perfect. I was going over it all the time. I was speaking to script writers all the time. I was speaking to, the cast all the time. Constantly. I mean, when it's your first storyline, you obviously question a lot. Yeah. I mean, because I hadn't been cast for the role, like I said, I've grown up into it. It was a question to myself of, can I actually do this? Like, they're not only testing me, but I'm testing myself because I don't know. But I mean, luckily they liked what they got, so.
I think a lot of your viewers were like, really, really pleasantly surprised with how it turned out. I mean, what did you make of their reaction to the story and your more prominent role?
You know what? I didn't get one. Well, I'm a comment reader. I'm an idiot, basically. And I do read the comments. And I think it's purely because I self-criticize so much. And it's just a thing. You know, we all have our
Yeah.
things that we do. And personally, I didn't get one bad comment. You know, there'll be something stupid about my eyebrow or something. But other than that, you know, it wasn't anything about my acting or anything like that. So it just, you know, it made me beam just realizing that I was hoping that I did the job that I was supposed to do. So when I was getting all the reviews, the comments and the replies, you know, it made it 10 times better. It was great.
That's great. I mean, quite often with these stories, you hear about actors being contacted by people to share their own stories about going through similar situations. Did this happen to you?
Yes. And I was so shocked when I got all these like direct message requests and stuff, because I wasn't obviously following all these people that had messaged me. And some of the messages that I got, it was unreal because so many people don't feel like they have a place. And when they see something they can relate to, all they want to do is let it out. You know,
Yeah.
they finally found a comfort in something or someone or like a show, and they'll just let it out and completely let loose. And it was so sad as well, you know, like reading some things that some people have been through. It was honestly heartbreaking. But, you know, all you can do is give advice like on the website and stuff on like ITV Hub and whatnot. But other than that, and then you get some really lovely ones as well, you know, like I used to do it and I realised like my true beauty was inside, you know, things like that. And it's amazing to read that and know that someone's overcome it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's lovely. The thing that will always that I'll always remember from that story is that scene where you hold the torn photo up to your face. That's, I mean, did that feel like a big scene when you were doing it? Because
That felt
everyone
like
loved that scene.
the biggest scene. I remember talking to Vicky, the director who directed that block, and we spoke so much about it. And it was the big scene that we was living up to and that we was looking forward to film. And do you know what I love as well? That it's been compared, well, no, not compared, but it's been put aside to Nina. And you know, the other night when Nina was like taking all her makeup off and looking at herself in the mirror and thinking she's not enough, she's wrong, she shouldn't look like the way she should look. And it really like someone compared it on Twitter and I like retweeted it and stuff. And it just really made me think, you know, that storyline was a long time ago. And the fact that somebody's picked up on that and gone back to that to then compare it to something that's happening now, it just makes it all just come together, doesn't it? It just makes everything you just feel so much better about everything. It's amazing feeling.
Great. I think by the end of this story, the character of Asha had been really well established. We could kind of see how elements of her insecurities have sparked off into other stories since, like the sexting story last year, everything that's been going on with Corrie this year. How would you describe the personality of the person Asha has grown to become? And are you happy with the way that the show's going with the character?
You know what? I feel like since the Skin Lightning storyline, I'm learning who she is just as you all are. Like everyone is learning how she is. You know, she didn't have a personality before. It was just, you know, the twins. It was just Dev's kids. It was she wasn't her own person. So, like, I mean, the Skin Lightning and the sexting, it really, I think it really matured her. You know, she's so young, and what people tend to forget is that kids do go through this, whether they tell the parents or not. They do go through this, and everyone's saying, "Oh, it's so dramatic that she's going through so much in her entire life." But this is years. Like, this is her growing up. This is her finding herself. So much more goes on in the real world, you know. So much more. I can say in my life, so much more has happened, you know. But they've really made her something, and I think everyone knows that deep down she's such a sweet character, and she just wants to help. You know, I mean, like this storyline, she truly believes that, you know, like she was sticking up for him. She wanted to give him an alibi. She was there for him. And that's the caring side of her. That's the sweet side of her, because she truly believes that. And what else can you do? Like,
Even though he's been so vile to her time and time again over the past few years, she just keeps going back to him.
you know what it is? I feel like the attention that he gives her, you know, even though he's so horrible to her, there must be some nice things going on. And me and Max were actually talking about this a few weeks ago when we were filming all the flat scenes for what's coming out right now. And we were saying how there must be something nice between them. And I wish that everyone could see that. And they showed that a little bit when we first moved in together. But there is something nice behind him, you know, there is something there. And that is why she does keep going back. And I think no matter how horrible he's been, he's that one person that has given the attention. He's the one person that has gone back and tried to fight in his own little weird way. But he has. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But do you think he's got any remorse for what he's done to Seb? Or is he just trying to save his own skin?
I think he's trying to save his own skin first. You know, I think the first thing that comes to mind is, you know, he's trying to make a career. Why would you do that if you're going to make a career? But whatever. You know, he's trying to completely save his own skin. He doesn't want to get in trouble. He doesn't want to go to jail. He doesn't want to do any of this. But I think eventually it will kick in, 100%. I do genuinely think it's something that everyone would feel, obviously. But no, I do think because there is a caring side to him. I like, as Tanisha, I do genuinely believe there is. But that does not justify anything he's done.
No,
absolutely not.
What do you think we should see in terms of comeuppance for Corey at the end of this story? Prison or death? That's the two usual options, isn't it, for soap baddies?
He just needs to go away. He just needs to go away. But I don't want him to go because I love working with Max. But Corey just needs to go away. Can we bring?
He plays the bad guy so well, doesn't he, Max?
He really, really does.
He's proper intimidating.
And watching him switch, you know, from before action to after action, it's crazy because he's honestly brilliant, so brilliant. Like, I don't like, you know what? It's great. I do love working with him, and we had so many long days. You know, we had so many long days, but it was always fun. I'm happy to say that it was fun. It was nice.
How long ago did you know that the story would be leading up to the death of the hate crime attack and the death of Seb?
You know what? I haven't known that long. And everyone was asking me, and I'm genuinely thinking, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm afraid. And it was probably literally maybe a couple of weeks before it was filmed.
Wow.
Because I was thinking, why are you on night shoots? Why? What are you doing there? And they're like, yeah, we're filming the death. And I was like, oh, all right. You going? What? Yeah, no, I feel like things like that, because obviously it was such a shock, and like them sort of spoilers weren't leaked at all. They wanted to keep it as secret as possible, as possible. So I feel like literally nobody knew except from them.
Yeah, well, it's always great when Corrie does that, isn't it? Because I went into the the Wednesday episode, sorry, thinking, I know that something's going to happen, but I don't know whether Seb's going to survive or not. But yeah, it was great that they were able to keep it a secret.
It was always that was being questioned, wasn't it? Because I think everyone originally thought it was going to be Nina. You know, obviously it was based off Sophie Lancaster, which I know that her mum worked really close with Coronation Street for that. But I think because everyone thought it was going to be her, when it eventually did happen, it was such a shock. You know, it was such a shock. But I mean, it's something, isn't it? I think with it being Seb, because physically Nina was worse than him, so with it being Seb, it just added the weight that a little bit more. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. And there's also the other part of this story is Kelly, isn't there? Now, she's proven herself to be a real nasty piece of work at times during the sexting storyline, during this one. But we've also seen a more vulnerable side to her come out as well. But then I don't know whether it's just because she's scared of what's going to happen to her, or whether she's remorseful. I mean, do you think that somebody like Kelly can be redeemed? Should she be redeemed? Because we don't know exactly what she did, but we know that she was involved.
Yeah, she was definitely involved somewhere. And I think, I mean, she had such an awful upbringing, hasn't she? And her mum throwing herself back into the mix didn't help. But I mean, I feel like she really does struggle right from wrong. I mean, but she knows it was wrong, And me as Tanisha, the fact that, you know, she went to see Corrie and they was talking and it was, shut up, stay quiet. Okay. And then he did her over and went and give a statement. And now she's like, oh, now I need to tell the truth. You know, she just said, tell the truth from the start. And I think because she got pushed and pushed and pushed, and all she could do then was give in. You know, I feel like she was sad about it. Obviously, that's not what she wanted to happen. But I think Kelly might be a bit of a people follower as well. You know, maybe a little bit of a sheep because, like in the sexting storyline, she did that for attention, like pure attention. And then with this, you know, they egged her on to slap Nina. You know, it was just, oh yeah, do it, and then you could see it in the face that she didn't want to do it, but it was okay, let's go, sort of thing. So I feel like she's a bit of a people pleaser.
Yeah. So speaking of Nina, then, I mean, this is the lingering thing, isn't it? You and her, well, Asha and Nina developed a lovely friendship last year, but then that accelerated to something a bit more romantic this year, didn't it? I mean, what did you think when you first heard that the story would be exploring Asha's sexuality?
I think, you know, you know, when it was a sexting storyline, Nina was there for us so much, and you know, she'd come round, you know, that beautiful picture she drew of her. Wow, that was I've got that. I was like, can I take that home? It's on it. It was up in my dressing room where we had our own dressing rooms, but no, it was stunning, and I think the friendship was absolutely brilliant. I absolutely adored Nina and Asha's friendship. It really made me happy because she really needed that person, you know, and she really needed the support and the build for her self-esteem. And Nina's so strong and she's so powerful and she's so sassy and feisty, and that's exactly what she needed. And I think then when they started to explore a bit more, you know, I must admit I was a little bit, ooh, is this the right way to go? You know, they've got such a nice friendship. Is it, you know? But then the scenes that we had, because they were so beautifully written, it made everything fit together, and it was lovely. It really was. But Asha's not just not mature enough for that just yet.
Not yet. I mean, it was funny seeing, you know, a developing romance story, you know, in these times. I mean, were there challenges playing out a romance story whilst also having social distancing?
Oh, it was awful. And you know, it was awful. And I think it's an element that's completely missed, and it's the element that we really needed just to, you know, just to put the glue there, just something. Because, for example, the kiss that we had, no one realised it was a kiss because
you got moved closer towards each other, but a green screen, and
then you know, like nobody realised it was a kiss.
Yeah.
And like when I was reading comments of that, and I was just thinking, oh, all of that, because it took so long to film, so long to film. It was unreal. And I was just thinking, after all that, people don't even think we kissed because we couldn't, like, because of the social distance, like anything, we couldn't hug.
No.
Like, so it's a little bit of a downfall, but I mean, what can you do? They're the rules.
Exactly. I mean, Corrie's doing such a great job of, you know, keeping on going and, you know, still churning out all these fantastic episodes every week, despite all the challenges that you're going through. I mean, it's doing great. Do you think that Asha and Nina might reconcile at some point in the future? Is that where this might be leading?
You know what? I feel like right now, you know, she's trying so hard just to be there for her because she's already made so many mistakes. Like with Corey, and then she goes to the hospital, giving it the, "Are you proud of me? I didn't actually lie to the police." You know, obviously she's got a right to be absolutely seething with her. But I mean, you know, Asha really wants to be there just to support her now. She just really wants to be there as a shoulder to cry on. Anything she needs, she just wants to be there. And right now is not the right time for that. I mean, her boyfriend's just died. And her boyfriend did it, you know, like he was involved. Bit of a sticky one.
we'll see what the future has in store for them then. I mean, but what about you? Where would you? I mean, do you have any like hopes and dreams for Asha as she moves into adulthood? Anywhere where you'd like to see the character going down?
You know, Asha's a very, very smart girl, and I would love to see her just genuinely happy with everything. I'd love to see it, the relationship be nice with Dev. You know, I'd really love to see them all come together as a family again. And I would just love to see her, whether it be education or starting something or like just doing anything, creating something of her own, just to be able to put her name on it and to be able to say, I've been through all that. This is what I'm doing with my life. I'd love to just see her succeed in anything she wants to do.
Yeah, it seems that she's not too keen to, be behind the counter at the corner shop all her life, is she?
No, I feel like in her heart she wants a little bit more than that, but she's happy to help.
And what about you? Are you keen to stay in the show long term, or have you got other ambitions to, turn your hand to playing other roles at some point in the future?
I will leave when they kick me out. 100%. I mean, there's nothing to not love. I love going to work. There is absolutely nothing. I mean, honestly, there is nothing bad that I could say. And if I was to leave to do something else, I would only do that if I could come back.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I'm so comfortable and I'm so happy where I am. It would take a lot for me to leave. Well, sure. Obviously, if they kicked me out, that's different. But it would take a lot for me to want to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully they won't, because you've had this, like I said at the beginning of the interview, a renaissance of the Alahans the last few years. I mean, you've been fantastic. You've taken a lot of people by surprise. Everybody loves Asha, and I think that your character could have a really, really bright future. So I think they'd be pretty crazy to want to get rid of you at the moment, to be fair.
Thank you. Can I get that in writing?
Oh yeah, I'll email you.
I'll forward that on.
Okay, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. It's been a real pleasure talking to you, Tanisha, and finding a bit more about what makes you tick and your history on the show. It's been really, really lovely.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's been great having a conversation with you about it all.
Good, yeah, it's been fantastic. Well, I'll let you get on with the rest of your evening then. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.